This is Charlie over at Sidewalk Creative, and today we are going to look at another module. It's called Entity Reference Autofill. And this is a pretty sweet little module. Obviously, most of you know about Entity Reference. If you don't know about the Entity Reference module, please spend some time looking at tutorials on it. It's very powerful, and this module we're going to talk about today is basically an add-on to that Entity Reference module. What Autofill allows us to do is pull a value from a field that we are referencing into the actual entity that we are referencing from. Might not make sense in theory, but let's get into a direct example and I'm sure it'll be more clear. So what we have right now is a couple content types, driver and shipment. What we're going to do is create a couple fields in driver, and we want to pull values from those fields directly into the shipment node that we create. Let's go ahead and do it and you'll see how this all works together. So let's create a couple fields in driver. We're going to create the name field, basic text field, nothing special. Let's save that. And let's create a license field. No settings to set. We're just going to click right through these just to have values that we can reference. So there we go. We got a name field and a license field under the driver content type. So let's create a couple drivers so we can reference that data. So we got driver 1. His name will be Bob. And his license number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll save Bob there, and let's add one more driver dude. Driver 2, and he's going to be John. 54321 is his license number. Great. So now you can see we have a couple nodes set, a couple drivers set, and we can start referencing information, data, values from those drivers. So let's go ahead and get into the fields for the shipment content type. Excuse me. So what we're going to do right away is add existing fields. We're going to add the two fields that we've created under driver, add them to the shipment content type. So let's add the name field. And these fields are where the data is going to be populating once we reference the other driver. Still might sound confusing. You'll see what happens when we set everything all up. So two fields, name and license, the same fields that have been pulled in, that have been created over in the driver content type as well. Now we're going to create the entity reference, and this is where the autofill is going to come in. So let's create the driver reference, and obviously we're setting the field type to entity reference. We save that. We are going to be referencing the driver. This is basic entity reference stuff. We're not looking at autofill yet. Okay, we're scrolling down, and now you can see under additional behaviors, this is where the autofill module comes in. We're going to select that checkbox, and we're going to see what fields we want to pull values from directly. We obviously want it from the name and the license fields. Scroll down. We're going to save that. Oh, also under widget, we're going to set the widget to select list. Perfect. We are all set. Save. So now when we go ahead and create a new shipment, we're going to scroll down and we're going to say, okay, we want to create a new shipment. We want to reference who's going to be driving that shipment. We can select driver 1, and you can see that it automatically populates these two fields with the values from driver 1. Or we select driver 2, automatically switches up and pulls those values directly into that node. Very powerful stuff. It really allows you to transfer values of fields just across from node to node. You can do a similar thing when you're spitting out data with views, but as far as pulling those values directly into the form of another node or another entity, extremely powerful. I was using it a lot for some geolocation stuff. I hope this helps. I hope this explains to you a little bit about the power of autofill. Please leave comments if you guys have questions. Once again, this is Charlie at Sidewalk Creative, and we'll look for you on the next one. Take care.